Well, as we wait for Sheila, today we're going to talk about Styria and specifically the wines of Michi. So we can go ahead and get going. I am going to go ahead and bring up the slides. And then when Sheila is able to join us again, I'll just let her take back over. So. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. So Michi, do you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. And I hope the next few minutes will be nice for you. I will give my best, and yeah, we will see what happens.
And we get to taste your wine, so it's all good.
Of course, of course, of course.
Of course, it is a little bit later there for him, so
Okay.
Let's go back to.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. So we're looking at a map of Austrian wine regions, and the one that we're going to specifically talk about today is down in Steiermark and Styria, and where Michi is, so down in this area. I was there about a year, maybe 2 years ago. It's absolutely a gorgeous wine region. It rivals any that we have in the United States, with rolling mountains and hills and absolutely gorgeous soil, which we will talk about in a few minutes. This gives you an overview with some of those vertical slopes reminiscent of the Mosel or the Rhine in Germany as well. And is this near you, Michi, or do you recognize this photo? Or
this is a vineyard of us. We call it Wicked Garden because it's very yeah, it's not normal, it's crazy. It's very steep, it's very hard to work, everything by hand, and this vineyard is above 620 meters above the sea level. So it's very high also, not just steep, and yeah.
And when you harvest, do you have to wear the packs on the back, or how do they harvest?
Just in small boxes, and yeah, we have a lot of people, and some people who just take the boxes and the other ones harvest. So yeah, it's much to do, but yeah, it's every time a fine time, the harvest time, and most of the years we have great harvest. Sometimes we have a little bit hailstorm in our region, so that's why our vineyards are on different places. So we have a lot of different hills. You can see it in the back of this vineyard, yes. And so the hailstorm is just on one place mostly, and so it goes well every year.
So you're hedging your bets on those vineyards then.
Yeah.
Which direction are we looking? Is this going up into Austria or down into Slovenia?
This is to east side. Yeah, this is the east side. So to Burgenland, Vienna, so okay. Northeast. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And the vineyard is looking to Slovenia, so to the south.
Slovenia. Okay. So again, this is just a more in-depth photo or map of Austrian wine regions, and we are down in this area.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is Michi playing his guitar. We will be tasting. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. We will speak about later about my ideas to go to be a rock star or something like that.
We have a few of those here in California, definitely. Oh. But let's go ahead and talk about specifically, I think what you kind of base your whole persona on, as far as being a natural wine. But let's start at the beginning, the fact that you've had vineyards in your family for 500 years. Can you tell us a little bit about your family history and how you became a winemaker?
Yeah, it's a long history. So the Lorenz wine farmer was 1524. So next year it will be 500 years at this estate, at this area, at this place. So it's a long story, but the real winemaking starts after the Second World War. From my grandfather, I think was the first real winemaking, or let me say a wine business. So before it was farmers, they make some wine, but drink it here in this area. And after the Second World War, my grandfather began to make it a business. And yes, and so yeah, then my parents make it also, and then came the little Michi, and yeah, make it bad. No, I'm honestly, I have also a brother, and the idea was that my brother makes the winery, and I will get a rock star or something like that. This was my idea as a teenager, but it's okay now. So I like to do it, and it's now we rock the wine scene, and I can do everything the same like a rock star. So we bring every year a new album, not a new album, but a new vintage. I'm on tour, make some wine tastings, talking with some papers and TV stations, and also at Zoom meetings, give some interviews. So it's great. Travel a lot and can do what I want. So a little bit punk rocker is also in me. So yeah, that's why we do natural wine and not just the uniform. How can we say it? Industrial wine or something like that.
So I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. So sorry for the technical problem before, but thank you, Roxanne, for very smoothly transitioning us to start. I just wanted to give a quick intro. So I'm Sheila Dunn, founder of Vero. And I'm really excited to have Roxanne and Michi with us. I've been living in Italy for like 20 years, and my previous career wasn't a rock star, unfortunately. It was the total opposite. I worked in banking and technology. And so I know Austria from mainly Vienna, from visiting with banking clients and doing events there in the banking industry. And I regret not going down south to your area, Michi, and getting to know your wines when when I was in Austria. But I'm really glad that you're part of the Vero family, and I think it's really cool that you wanted to be a rock star. I'm looking at Mark Hoffman. His Mark is a sommelier in San Francisco, and he puts on wine events. So he puts on fun wine events. So the two of you could definitely do something fun together.
He wrote about the good acoustic in the wine.
Yeah. Then you can add a little of Hampton Road and have Bon Jovi join you as well.
Yes. So yeah.
So I thought we could talk a little bit about the soils. And
yeah, of course.
Yeah, you've got the Sassel mountain range there with the steepness like you just showed us, and
also the South Styria, our region. This is the Steiermark. This is a little bit different to the rest of Austria. So we have more the climate from the south, so from the south coast of Europe, so from Croatia, Italy, and so we have warm temperature, but also we have enough rain, and this is very typical that the day is warm and some days in the autumn is cold. So the difference between day and night is very strong, and so this is good for our fruits and for our freshness in the wine. And also we have a special soil, especially in our small area, which is called South Styria. This is a little bit higher than the rest of Styria. So our vineyards are all between 400 and around 600 meters above the sea level. And we have a schist. The soil is schist, slate, but we call it schist. Also the wine schist happens. And the special that this is very, we have different kinds of schist. So we have gray schist, we have black schist, we have red schist. And every soil is a little bit different and makes a different character to the wine. I can show you some pictures maybe. I hope it works. But it's easier if some people can see the soil. So I try. So is it possible? Yeah. So this is our soil, but maybe some pictures. Do you have some?
Do you want to stop sharing your screen maybe if
Sure, yeah.
Michi has
So
something?
there's absolutely just stone, and this is very special. And usually a vineyard, if you plant a vineyard, you need 15-20 years that the roots go down to the stone, but we have the stone right on the surface. So yeah, it's always a lot of minerality, a lot of saltiness, and this is a poor soil, but we like it to work with them. And yeah, we don't like the super fruit wines, so we want more wine which is a little bit deeper with a lot of structure and minerality.
Complexity.
And yeah.
Okay. Well, you were telling me the other day that you have kind of changed the focus of the winery to become 100% organic. Can you talk a little bit about what organic means in Austria?
What organic is? Austria has the hardest wine law around the world, I think. So we had some history and had in history maybe some problems, and that's why we have a very hard law. But the organic law is also very hard, but for us now it's easy. So if you live with your vineyard, it works. And now we're working biodynamic, so we are Demeter, and it's not easy to tell some people what change. You can just go in the vineyard. I don't want to talk about all these things you can do with in biodynamic farming, but it's important that some people go in the vineyard and you can feel it. You can see the difference. There is a much more life in there. And I told you last week, it changes so much. So the grapes from the last 2 or 3 harvests, vintages, so 2022, 21, and 20. This was our first vintages of biodynamic farming, and this was the greatest grapes I've ever had in my hand. So, and I also make wine since 2003. So I cannot say what's different, but it is different, and it feels so right, and we don't want to go back. And also in the wine cellar, I'm honestly, 15 years before, we also tried to working with some yeasts and some other things you can use, but now we use nothing, and you don't need anything. You need just trust in the grapes, in the wine, and you need time. That's the only thing you need. Also, sulfite, we just use it on I think 4 or 5 wines, and so we have more than 20 different wines. But we also, so normal wine gets total sulfite maybe usually around 150 and 180 milligram, and our wines is maximum 50 milligram, but the most of the wines is less than 10 milligram. So we don't add something. So yeah, it's just the natural sulfite. But yes, so the Sauvignon Classic gets a little bit, but I don't think dogmatic. So yeah, that's my idea, and yeah.
Just
Okay.
I have a question. So Michi, originally you were not organic and biodynamic. Is that correct? Did you do like
not certified? Not certified.
Oh, not certified.
And,
okay, so
yeah,
you're already following.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But
is
also,
there? Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
But also, some years, if you had some problems, you could take some special things maybe in the past. But we don't use it every year. So, but yeah, and now we have to work more in the vineyard, more on the leaves and everything, and it's more hard work, but yeah, the wine is better. It's easy.
What do you mean the leaves? What do you have to do?
You know, we have a lot of rain in the sometimes, and you need a little bit space for air, and that it could dry and everything. So yeah.
So you thin the
remove
leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we also try to hide the grapes with some leaves, because we have also a hot summer. So
Sunburn.
the grape should not stand in the and look at the sun. So this could also be a problem. Yeah. You need to find the balance. That's important. And you cannot say do it like this or do it like this. It's every year is different. And I think this is what makes a winemaker and winemaker, or what makes me important in the winery. So I think there should be one guy who gives his fingerprint or his idea and make some decisions to make it like this or like this, because I have an idea which wine should be at the end and what should be the best thing. Maybe I'm a coach of my sports team. I don't know, football, baseball, something like that. That's
It's a
it.
cute analogy. Yes. So do you ever have, you said you have hail sometimes, but when do you bring the grapes in? And do you have a lot of rain at that time?
In the harvest time?
Mm-hmm.
Not often. We had some years like 2014 and 2016. So this was a year with frost, with a lot of rain at the harvest time, also hailstorm. But all in all, so you have to, some winemakers harvest very early, or early after the rain period. sometimes you have some week or something rain, and then it will be better. But we always try to wait, and so we in these years we harvest the vineyards 3 times.
Oh,
So
wow.
we took always, yeah, that's crazy. And my father says always we don't need to do this, but after that we saw now that 2014 and 2016 was one of our best vintages.
Wow.
All in all. So yeah, but it was very less. So I think 2016 was very crazy. So we had 18% harvest.
Wow.
So less, we lose 82%.
That's huge. Yes.
This was very hard because this was the first year. This was the year I got the winery from my parents. So I was the new owner, and I start with 18% harvest. Yeah.
We call that baptized by fire. Your
This
first
was
year out.
really hard.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm still alive.
Well, I think we should taste the wines. How would you like us to proceed as far as the order?
I would go first with the Sauvignon Blanc Classic.
Okay.
Of course. Which vintage is it? 21 or 20?
2020.
2020. Okay.
Yes.
So we have the 2 vintages, 2020 and 2021 of the
Yeah.
same wine.
Okay. That's why I'm asking.
Mhm.
Very quickly, before we start tasting, I read about your embroidery here, but do you want to explain why this is on your label and how that came to be?
This is a long story. No, long story short. I said I want to have a label if people don't know me, but if they see my label, and then they should know that's Michi Lorenz. And from the marketing company, a woman came to me and wants to learn about my ideas and everything. And after our talking, she said, it's impossible to bring you on the label because I have 80 different characters of you. It's impossible, Michi. You are too many different things. And so we said, okay, let's take the heart, because the heart is everything is grown on love and made with love. And this how would you spell it in English? I think
Stitchery or embroidery.
Yeah. So this is a little bit traditional in our region also, and I'm a traditional guy, so I'm grounded here in this area. And so I found, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do this. And that's why we have the heart. And yeah.
I think it's lovely, and it's so recognizable, so very easy to find on a shelf or on Schiller's website.
But believe me, a lot of people around the world say different things. So some people say you need a modern label, the other things said you need an I talked too much about labels the last few years, and yeah, I just want to make wine, and people should taste the wine. But I know, okay, label is important, but there is too much energy about the labels mostly.
I like it.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so the first wine, we're tasting the Sauvignon Blanc Classique.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I have the 2022 now in the glass, but it's maybe the same like 2020 or 2020. It's how can I say it? It's not too much this green fruit. You have a lot of deepness, a little bit also a little bit minerality. You feel it at the smell also.
Mhm.
And there's also a little bit vibration on the tongue. This is also from the minerality. And yes, it's not a lot of alcohol, so we are around 12 alcohol, but it has a long taste. So you have, how will you spell it? Aftertaste? I don't know. So it's long taste after.
Finish.
Yeah.
We say finish.
Yeah, long finish, a long finish, of course.
Yeah.
So sorry for my English to all other
No.
people.
It's fabulous. This wine is fabulous. It's got great minerality. It's very elegant, and a lot of Sauvignon Blancs, especially from certain countries, are fun and fruity, but they don't have the elegance that I particularly like in wine. So this is a very food-friendly wine as well, which is nice.
Yeah, the idea is that the classic wine is also to drink it just the wine, not as food pairing. But it works perfect also with food pairing. But I think it should also a little bit easygoing, but with a little bit, how can I say it? A little bit also character and yeah. So
Well, the minerality certainly shines through. That's pretty. And Sheila, what is that retail for?
It's 2028. It's available on our website, verovino.com, and we also sell to distributors and wine stores and restaurants across the U.S. as well.
Yay. And soon to Carmel.
As
it's a fair deal.
so
Which one would
I'm not actually tasting the wine right now, but I'm familiar with this, and if I'm not mistaken, Michi, the profile of this wine, you prefer to be more of like a kind of a greener type of profile for this, right? Would you say?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
greener in the fruits or greener in the production?
In the
In
fruit.
the style, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of green apple in it. Yeah, definitely.
Because you harvest this one, isn't this one of the first Sauvignon Blancs you harvest?
The classic is there's so different harvesters. So we have the early thing, but we also take a little bit from the late harvest. So we try to build it a little bit. So to make it a little bit greener or easier with a little bit structure. So yeah. So these are yeah, it's 2 harvests usually.
Okay.
Sometimes 3.
Like an early and later one.
Yeah.
It's got nice
But the most of
acidity,
it
too.
is I'm almost an late harvest guy. So if the other guys still finishing, I'm starting sometimes. So this is every year I say next year I will start earlier, but I can't because I want to poke a little bit and won't give all days they could get. So this is, I don't know. It's not
Well, it's a
easy
very
for my
fun wine.
workers. But
Right.
thank you.
Which one would you like to taste next, Sheila?
Oh, I just wanted to ask about the food pairing
Sorry.
for this, because Michi, we never really talked too much about the foods that you like to eat with your wine. So what do you like to pair this with?
It's always the same question. How can I say it? I'm a winemaker, not a sommelier, but maybe the sommelier are the better guys for food pairing. But
Well,
I think you can also take this for seafood and fish, light meat. So this is You can take it. I think this can also be used as some pasta or something like that. So I think with the saltiness and everything, so it should work often.
I think it also, one of the most difficult things for sommeliers is to pair specific vegetables with wine. And this is a perfect wine to go with some of those vegetables like asparagus or artichokes, because it has that natural minerality and it has that acidity lift in it, but it's not overpowering and it still has that herbaceousness. So honestly, I think this would be great with some of those vegetables too, which is hard to pair wine with.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Any questions from anybody for Michi? Okay, so Sheila, Michi, which one would you like to do next?
Let's do Just Happens.
I think
I
she's
love
happens, yeah.
the name of this. This is so fun.
Thank you.
So
Next
tell us
wine
about
will
the wine.
next wine will be called Holy Shit. No. Yeah, Just Happens. It's also we had a name before. The name before was Querdenker. This is an Austrian word, but we had the pandemic, yeah, the COVID and all the things.
Pandemic.
Yeah, pandemic, yeah. And we have had some split about the people, and we had some guys who called Querdenker. This is like your in the US. This is I think the Q or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And I said, okay, we cannot use the name for the next time. So Shit Happens. Let's take Shit Happens. Let's take a new name, and we said Shit Happens, and this is the perfect name. So the idea of Shit Happens was always to put all our sauvignons in one wine. So we have a lot of different vineyards. So we have on 9 different vineyards we have Sauvignon Blanc, and the idea was to pick from every vineyard a little bit in the wine, and it was also most important for us to bring the minerality in the wine and not the style of Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon is our main grape in our winery and also in this region, but for me it's not important to make Sauvignon Blanc, as people know. For me it's important to make terroir or bring terroir in the wine. And yeah, Sauvignon is just the wine, the grape which we work with. So, but it's not important that it's too much of type of Sauvignon. So that was the idea, but I think it's also a lot of Sauvignon in there. But yeah, and it's also 17, 18, so 4 different vintages. So we make a Solera system. Always,
okay.
Yeah, always we take 20-25% of the blend and put it on the side and give it next year to the new version, and this every year. So yeah,
that makes more sense. So when I first looked at it, I thought, okay, well, maybe this was barrel aged because of the color, but if you did the Solera system, that could also be just from a little bit of fine oxidation too.
So there's 2017, 18, 19, and 20 in there. And
makes sense.
It's also the wines there is something skin contact, there's something in the barrel, other is in seedless tanks. So all versions of Sauvignon come together. That's the idea.
Well, it's also very fun. It is a bit different than the first wine. I think
But-
the first wine had a little bit more minerality. This one has a little bit more body and complexity. But
But
very
it's also,
lovely.
what always our wines is at the smell, you have this smokiness. This is
Mhm.
from the soil. This is always our minerality too. So the smokiness in the smoky smell is, you know, in all wines. And I think at the Just Happens is a lot of this.
Yes, definitely. That's why I thought originally maybe it was, you know, all of it in oak, but that's good to know it comes from the soil as well.
So-
And so Sheila, go
So,
ahead.
sorry, just a clarification, Michi. So is this all in neutral oak, or is it mix of neutral oak and steel?
The Just Happens is the most is in stainless tank, and I think 20% is in oak, and there's also not new oak. So, it's 5
Neutral.
times 3, yeah, often used oak
Okay.
barrels.
What I find about this wine is that, and then also the next wine that we're gonna have as well, but it changes as it
Yes.
goes through the glass. So the first time I tried this, I felt like I was licking a rock. It was so minerally, and then it transformed and became fruity.
Mhm.
Often my wines are grower, so it needs time, and there's also the idea that you can drink an industry wine which is on point and is maybe the whole time same, and after this maybe, and after 2 years it's finished, the wine, and you can take some wine like this. You can also open a bottle and drink maybe 1 month.
Huh.
I think after 4 weeks it could be, yeah, boring, but it always so oxygen is not a problem for our wine, because we try to work very with reduction from the yeast and everything. Natural yeast, it's important to say, but because not everybody think about, yeah. And so I like that wine lives in the glass too, and you should, the wine drinker should connect with the wine, and this should be a game between the guy and the glass, and I like this, and this should be this is what's my idea of wine. But also we try to make it a little bit simpler, but also with a little bit Pink Floyd.
Just a question about the 2020 and 2021 vintages, because also the previous wine, Sauvignon Blanc Classic, we have the 2 vintages. So how would you comment on the difference between those 2 years?
2020 was a great year. We had a perfect summer and we had a perfect autumn, but 2021 was more, I think, a little bit more rain, but not too much rain, always a little bit. So, and I think the 2021 was more vital. Yeah,
More
there
what?
was more life in the vintage,
okay.
and also
Spring.
the grapes was more, how can I say it? This was more, yeah, there was more life in there. So
Mhm.
this is, yeah, and I think 2021 is, I cannot say 2020 is So if I taste the wines, they are still too young. And 2021 was maybe my best vintage, but yeah, most of the wines are not bottled yet. So I don't know. We will see it in 10 years, which one is better. I like both.
Yeah. That's great. We do have a question, or do you want to? Okay.
Yeah,
So,
no.
okay. Beth would like to know about the closure. Do you select a closure with some oxygen ingress, or what are you, how are you doing that? I mean, the one that we just tried, just happens has a screw top, but tell us.
Yeah, we in the past 10, 15 years in Austria, let me say in Austria, is it more normal to take screw cap?
Mm-hmm.
So the last 15 years, I know not everywhere, and in a lot of countries is screw cap more the cheap wine, but not in Austria. So we had also the high ends with screw cap, but now we go back to cork on
Why?
on some wines. Why? Because we work now the most of wines without sulfite, adding sulfite, and I think wine can also live a little bit just a little bit in the bottle, and sometimes they will need some space or something like that. So I think it's better that they get some cork. Screw cap should also not a problem because there is not a lot of pressure or something in there. But I think, yeah, my wines need sometimes more oxygen to open, and because we work very reductive, so I think it's maybe easier to drink it earlier if you have some natural cork, and
So,
if you're a natural winemaker, it's maybe also more better.
It goes with it.
But,
so on that note, then would you suggest that people actually decant your wines?
pardon?
Would you suggest that people decant your wines then?
Yeah,
upon
of
opening?
course,
Yeah.
not the classic, but I think the if a wine is 4 years old or more, it's better. And also the young, stronger wines like Halo, which is also she does also the Halo. You can put it in a decanter. I prefer to take a big glass and take the time for you, and see what happens in the glass for the next 20
Taste it
minutes.
as it goes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I prefer almost.
Yeah. I like that too.
But
Should
I
we
know
go ahead and
in the gastronomy, is it easier maybe to put it in a decanter and give it to people, and all people will understand it?
well, it's
easier.
also a little bit of pomp and circumstance because it's a nice show. Yeah, a little bit of entertainment as well. So
That's America.
yeah, very. Yes, it is. Okay,
So I
so
wanted
should we
to ask
ahead.
about pairing. So maybe Roxanne, you would give some suggestions. I have an idea in terms of what this could pair with, but
I have to put it back in because I just I think with the name itself, anything with this wine, that name is so perfect.
I think it would go with seafood lasagna.
Mm. Yep. And with that oxidation, it's a little bit richer, so it also go with anything salty and nutty and some of the blue cheeses. Yeah. There's
And
a lot of
I was
things.
just listening to Evan Goldstein on the Wine Scholar Guild. He just gave a presentation on Asian pairing wine with Asian foods, and he talked about having wines with acidity and and he specifically mentioned Sauvignon Blanc and also natural wines. The natural wines has texture, so wines with texture go well with like umami type foods. So I think this would go great with Asian food.
I think the first one would too, though, because it's got that minerality and acidity as well. So, I think they both would.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try the halo.
Oh, halo.
And where did this name come from?
Halo.
Because you're an angel.
Oh, I show you some pictures. No, it's not allowed if you make Austrian wine in Austria, natural wine, and natural wine is a little bit different than the uniform wine. It's not allowed to write the vineyard on the name of the vineyard on the label. And so we have to find new names for our vineyards. And this is one of our best vineyards. And it's on the top of this hill is the church of our village. And if I look from my wine estate to the hill, to the vineyard, in the night, I see the light. The church is there's light to the church, and it looks like a halo. I can show you a picture. So this is
Oh wow,
the
that is
church.
cool.
The
So
church.
cool.
It's the church, and it looks
Love
like
that.
a halo, like an halo. So that's the idea of this vineyard. Yeah,
That's a great
and I have
story.
and I have for example, I have another vineyard, which is you cannot describe this vineyard, and it's not easy. But if you stand there, you feel something, and that's why I call the other vineyard aura, because this is the aura. You can feel it, but you cannot see it. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay,
And
well, tell us a little.
halo is gracious. So especially this is gracious is always a little bit more straight fruit, a lot of herbs, and of course there's a lot of reduction. And yeah, it's for me, if I describe it, it's more like David Bowie. So you will have a lot of surprising things, sometimes in your face, but at the end you will say it's amazing. The wine has only 12% alcohol, so 11.9. It's very light, but has a really long taste. Yeah, and it's still too young. It's 2020, but yeah, it's maybe in 5 years it will be better, but we will not have someone of this. So you should store it and
Buy it yourself so you can store it. It has a very long finish, but the reduction nose does blow off a little bit. I've been swirling mine since I poured it, and the nose kind of melds, like you said. It changes into even more of the complexity, but with the fruit as well. Kind of works together on the minerality and the terroir. It does have a terroir smell along with the fruit. Fruit's hidden pretty much underneath, but it's got a beautiful nose, a very intense nose.
definitely it's absolutely an special wine. For some people it's too much in their face maybe, but at the first time. But if you wait and give the wine time, you will have so many experience with the wine, and that's my idea of wine, of good wine, and I love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
happy
it
with
coats
it.
your whole mouth. I mean, it just really
Yeah.
goes all through it, which is very
And
nice.
this is also for us important to make ripe wine or to harvest ripe grapes, but with less sugar, and that we don't get too much alcohol. But around the world, we can talk about climate change, but yeah, there is some. So I'm as farmer can say, yeah, there is some maybe, or I don't know, but it gets hotter and we get more sun and we get more sugar in the grapes, and we have to work different in the vineyards. So we this working with the leaves. This is a big special thing, and then you can handle it a little bit and bring it to less sugar, but physiologic ripeness. So
Yeah,
okay.
physiologically ripe.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's all part of canopy management, I think, what you're explaining there, which makes sense and is a
yeah.
big part of trying to get exactly what you're looking for. And what,
And sorry.
when you taste and smell this wine, what else do you get in the nose?
Smokiness, a smoky reduction at first time, and then I get a lot of herbs and flowers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
fruits
It almost,
and change and change and change. So you got so much impressions. So yeah,
I love that it just kind of ends with this green flower floral aroma, which is very, very pretty. And
you
it's
will
making me
see
hungry.
tomorrow, and then the next few days it will also, you will find something
Something
new
different.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to say that because we talked about too much alcohol and it gets too hot and the weather is more warm and the climate change. I heard from a lot of people that maybe our region could be is perfect for white wine and could be for the next few years a good place for white wine, and that's what we feel yeah, we feel it because we sell around the world, and Styria, Steiermark is the Austrian, the German name, is exploding the wine selling at the moment, and I have to say we sell wine to Italy, we sell wine to French. You know, these are the old greatest wine countries around the world, and if we sell to this country's wine, it's crazy. So if we talked if you asked me a few years before, I could imagine, but yeah. So I think this region is really good, and we have in the natural wine scene we have a lot of real good player here. And we work together, and there is something happening here. So the future of Austrian, Syrian, but also Austrian natural wine, the natural wine scene is very big and good.
Well, you've certainly gotten a lot of press recently, specifically on Styria and the Sauvignon Blancs. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody here knows that if you want a good Sauvignon Blanc, it's a good place to go. So congratulations, because that's not easy to do.
Thank you. But we also make some great Chardonnay. So we call it Morillon. And at the Wine Enthusiast, at the last Wine Enthusiast, which is now on sale maybe, there is an interview of some winemakers. Also, they ask Michi Lorenz about it. And yeah, it's so this is my new experience, because Sauvignon Blanc is what we always did, and I said Morillon, which is the name of Chardonnay in Styria. We had some problem in the last few years. Maybe let me say this, because everywhere around the world people say everything but no Chardonnay. But it's changed. It's changed, and I think Morillon is a little bit different. Maybe you are able to read the article in the Wine Enthusiast. I think in 1 or 2 months it will be online. But I think this is a really great grape, and I love it really well. So not more, but same like Sauvignon. And I'm happy that I have a lot of old wines. So we have the main age of our wines around 25 and 50 years.
Your vines, that's great. Wow.
Yeah. And the oldest wine is 80 years old.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. We
That'd
have
be
a
a
Pinot
fun-
Grigio. But the vineyard is a little bit it looks like more the teeth of an ice hockey player. So you have one is here, then there's nothing.
That's cute.
But
Very
it's great.
descriptive. That's great. Well, we should probably move on to the last wine,
Yeah.
which is
Zweigelt.
Weigelt.
this is Weigelt.
Oh, we have a question from Nancy. Besides Sauvignon Blanc, what other grape varieties are planted in your vineyard? And are your wines sourced only from estate vineyards, only from your own vineyards?
Yeah. So we only have our own. So we don't buy some grapes or something like that. We just make our own thing. Yeah, it's not easy to get some biodynamic grapes in this area, but I think we have enough vineyards, and yeah, we don't we will not get bigger or something like that. We just want to sell this wine and what we have, and if we sell all of them, it's enough. I think. I hope so. Yeah. And
So
it's always a part of me. My wines should be a part of me, and I could not sell a grape from other guys because this would not be Michi Lorenz. So yeah. And yes, we have too much different varieties, but this is normal in our region. But the most is Sauvignon Blanc. We have also Muscat. We have Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Chardonnay. Also Welschriesling. This is an Austrian, mostly in Austria, and white wine grape, and I don't know, too much. We have also a little bit Riesling because we have the schist. Yeah, and but we make just small, just small. How can I say it? Not much of all grapes, and we make some blends and. Yeah.
okay. Well, Zweigelt is not as well known as Sauvignon Blanc in the United States. It is a very fun red wine. This is the first time I've tasted your wines, and what I've noticed across the board is that smokiness. So is that also on the Zweigelt? Is that still coming from the terroir itself?
Definitely from the soil. You can taste Zweigelt from other regions. There is no smokiness. So yeah. But also the change from the climate is good for us for make good red wine, and also the wine drinker change a little bit. So for 10 years before or 15 years before, people preferred wine with fat wine with a lot of alcohol, a lot of tannins and everything. And now it goes a little bit back to the roots, more elegant wine, more fine wine. I think this is good for us because we can make like this. So we are a Pinot Noir region, and so we try to make Zweigelt, and also some guys make here Blaufränkisch, which is also an Austrian grape. And I think Styria gets more and more for great red wine. I'm honestly the last years I took my focus on the white wine, but my father was famous for red wine, and so I have a lot of old vineyards with red wine. We also have a little bit Cabernet, just 2 barrels, then a little bit Merlot, but the main grape in red wine is Zweigelt, and we have one guy here which is very famous for red wine, and I said, okay, let's be the second best winemaker of red wine here in this region.
Good for you.
And yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so
So
it
on-
starts with the smokiness, and then it does move into quite a bit of fruit.
Yeah, it's fruit. It's which
Okay.
vintage do you have?
This-
The 2020 or 2019?
2020.
Oh, 20, the same like mine. Okay, perfect.
And I'm getting some cranberry.
Yeah, also sherry.
Uh-huh. Yeah, lots of cherry. And I love the spiciness on the end. On the palate.
Maybe I have since 2 months I have tasted. So it's the first time since 2 months. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
I tasted a lot of other red wines, not mine. It's really cool. But always, if we bottle the wine, for me, the wine is, I taste after the bottling, I taste it for a few months. I don't taste it for a few months because I know it needs time. And after months and months again, the wine will be better. And now I think now it's on the right time to drink it. So I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Well, and you could definitely drink this wine right now, but with the tannins and the structure, this wine will age quite a while as well. This would be fun to taste again in 20 years.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So last week we opened a bottle of 2008 of Zweigelt, and it was great. But we because on this evening we drank also in Bordeaux from 1973, so in 50 old Bordeaux, and 1981, so my year of birth. And yeah, the 2008 was also great.
Well, I want to try this in 20 years, so I'll be over there.
The first time I was selling this here in California was right before Thanksgiving last year, and it's a great Thanksgiving wine. It's
perfect, yeah. And the spice at the end, it's I don't think it's black pepper, it's more like white pepper. It's that nice slight pepper. It's not that huge Syrah pepper that you can get, and it makes it elegant too. Okay, so in a typical Austrian household, when they serve this wine, what would they pair it with normally?
Meat. I think
Pork,
yeah, beef, yeah.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, maybe you can also take it to dark meat. So what's the ducks or
Duck.
I don't know. Yeah.
Duck
maybe.
with a cherry sauce? That's
Yeah.
perfect. Similar to what you would pair a Pinot Noir with in that sense, yeah.
And there's a little bit, but also a vibration on the tongue
Mhm.
at this wine. This is also from the soil.
Hmm.
This is
So not effervescence, it's just from the soil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that also schist?
yeah, of course.
But the acidity, I mean, normally you don't talk that much about acidity in red wine, but this wine has just that, again, that beautiful lift. And it makes you want to have another glass because it's not, that overripe fruit that can kind of drain your palate. It's lively and makes you want to have another glass.
Acidity is also important for wine to get old. So if you drink an old Riesling, maybe, and also old red wines from Bordeaux, they had more acidity than from now. And I think the older can get older than the new ones. And so this is also the gamut change, and maybe this could be good for us in the future. So.
Yay. Well,
but I cannot be always a winemaker. I have also to do a little bit rock stuff in future.
You're gonna have to go on the road.
So do you play the guitar?
Not at the moment. So the last few months I lost my inspiration a little bit, but it will come back. So I know this sometimes. Yeah, I need a break, and I have in every room in my house have a guitar, and yeah, now it don't work, but it will come back and everything will be good. But I have some other hobbies. Yesterday I was in Austria in the television. I played in a crime movie as a cop. Yeah.
Oh
my goodness!
Wow.
Any movie we would see eventually?
Yeah, I think at the next Oscar celebration. No joke. No, no. It's just for Austria and Germany. And there was maybe just the whole movie 10 seconds of Michi Lorenz. But it was my first movie, so yeah.
Well, on an ending note, why don't you tell us about the group you were mentioning that the wild
winemakers of Austria. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a group. We have a group of winemakers of young wild winemakers of Austria. These are 15 of I think 15 guys from the whole Austria, from all regions. Not just organic, but the most of them is organic or biodynamic. I think the people in the group feel the spirit and change to organic or something like that. So we have, I think, 2 which are not organic, but that will also change because they see what happened on the market and how the wine feel and everything. And we work together, go to presentations, to wine fairs and everything. It's easier than if everyone has his own day work. This would be too expensive. So we work together. We bring some importers. Yeah, we recommend each other and everything, and make some presentations at restaurants and everything. So I think on Friday and Saturday, Friday till Sunday, we will be in Germany together. Some of the guys. That will be hot night, I know. I know it
sounds
now,
like a fun group. A lot of camaraderie.
Yeah, and our name is Young Wild Winemaker, and yeah, I'm not the youngest, but one of the wild guys, and we have some young guys there. But maybe next year we will change the name. We will see. So because the oldest guy is will be next year 50, so it could be a problem as young wild winemaker.
Well, you'll have to keep the wild, obviously.
Just I think Austrian wild winemaker could be a good name. We will see.
I think that would
And
work well over here.
I have some
Yes.
ideas, and maybe the A from Austria with the energy sign, and yeah, we will see what happens.
Very cute. Well, thank you very much for sharing about your wines and telling us more about
You're
who
welcome.
you are and your vineyards. And I'm excited. I think you will do quite well in the United States. You are exactly the kind of winemaker that we like here. So
And when
Thanks.
you're back, we have to go to a Yankees game together, Michi.
with his hat.
I don't know anything about that. This was just a souvenir from New York, but I know the Yankees. But yeah, Roxanne said she don't like the Yankees, so
I don't like the Yankees.
yeah, we can make it like.
I
this,
like the Giants. You'll have to come to San Francisco.
Yeah, I like California too. It's a long time ago, but I have to go back to California maybe this year. We will see.
Yay.
Yeah,
Let us
maybe
know.
in
Yeah. Have
November or
Sheila bring
something
you
like
to
that.
Carmel.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Thank you so much. Your wines are so delicious, Michi. I just trying to get the word out about them, and this having this chat is definitely good for people to meet you and get to know you and your wines. So they're all available on verovino.com. And just keep in touch. Let's keep following each other on social media and
Follow me on Instagram.
Absolutely.
I want that picture of the halo. That was a good one. Should post that and then tag us. That was a good picture.
Yeah, I should post it next few days.
Yeah.
It is from the it is from there's something with
You
the
get interrupt-
acoustic.
Yeah.
We hear you.
It is from last week, and I forgot to post it, but I will do it next week or the next few days.
It would be great for the article, Sheila.
Right.
Well, thank
All right.
you.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Have
Okay,
a
so
day, have evening.
thanks for having us. If you have some questions later, you can also write me on Instagram or something like that, or to Sheila, or yeah.
Mhm.
So
Great.
have a nice day. So because yeah,
Yep, it's still day here. 1 o'clock.
so yeah, it's 10 o'clock in the evening here. So yeah, and yeah, wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.